function overloading. Function overloading is whenever we reuse a function name in our program, but with two different definitions or more definitions. Overloading can be quite helpful for readability in our programs when the function purpose is ambiguous and can be used in two different ways. So let me give an example of that. So let's say I wanted to take an average, and so I'm going to write an average function here. However, we use two parameters, and then, so I'm going to do that here. So I write the function, boom, boom, boom. However, then later on in our program, we do an average, but we want to take the average of three parameters, three numbers, instead of two. So let's reuse or overload the function by making an average of three parameters, n1, n2, and n3. And then we continue on with our program, and this would be perfectly fine when compiled. How it works is that whenever we call a function, the compiler will check to see if we use two parameters or three parameters in our function, and whatever matches with the parameter count, it uses that definition of the function. The second way we can overload a function is when we pass in different data types. So let's say instead of integers, let's say we had a third definition of the function average, where we use double types or floating types. So let's say I put a float and 1, and let's say I have a float second number and 2, and when I call the function, however, I use a floating number instead of an integers for my parameters, it will match with this definition of the function and use this. And so yeah, that's how you overload functions in C++. Here we have three different definitions of the same function that serve almost the same purpose, and yeah, so that's how you overload functions. Better readability for your programs. Thank you.